Have you ever wondered why your favorite nightclubs are now empty? A lot of it boils down to the point that men have just decided to no longer want to pay for validation. We were all trained for years that we go to the club, we meet someone in a social setting, we have drinks, we go home, probably have sex, and now we can have a girlfriend. That was our meetup. That's where people were going. But that's things have changed now since women have came on the internet and just let men know the truth. The truth is they don't respect men who spend money on them. They call them tricks. They call them um, simps. Women have exposed who they really are, and now men choose to no longer participate. We spend our money in the club. We're no longer doing it. Also, clubs have changed. The you used to feel special because the owner would know you, or there would be a door guy who would see you, and you would get preferential treatment. He would walk you in, make sure your section's good. People would know you. That old TV show Cheers, the the theme song said, "A place to go where everybody knows your name." When you're spending $500 or $1,000 in one night just to listen to music and drink for an hour and a half to 2 hours, you kind of want some recognition. Women used to appreciate that. They used to see a guy at a table, he has liquor, he invites her over, now they can hook up, but everything's changed. And the juice is no longer worth the squeeze. Apparently, a lot of people agree with this. Now, I personally work in nightlife. I used to own clubs, I patronize clubs, and I travel to all these different cities. In Houston, people still go out sometimes because we have something called BYOBs, where you can bring your own bottle. You pay for a section, which is like about $100, and you would buy a hookah for about 50, but you can bring your own liquor in. You're not sitting there buying a $300-400 bottle and you run out of liquor after about 15 shots and you're spreading them around to your group and you got to buy another bottle. Next thing you know, you're at $1,500. To do that once a month is one thing, but what about if you want to go out twice a week? A BYOB is more economically feasible. You can come up with $300 to go out 3 or 4 times in a week. You can bring your own bottle, and they don't care how big the bottle is. You could bring in a fucking a gallon of tequila. They don't care, and you can pour it for you and your friends, and you guys can meet other people who are in there. You can do it that way. But in other states, unfortunately, they don't have BYOBs. Regular clubs are dying. Dive bars are doing better than regular bars. Cheap dive bars, because also in a dive bar, you can get a shot for $8. I went to a club last weekend. It was for a Don Julio Reposado shot on the rocks, which is what I drink. It was $25. This video right here went viral on my page. I put it up on the 21st. This is on my TikTok, The Single Boyfriend. If you can, follow me on there. This video is at 167,000 views. There's over 1,100 comments on this video. Let's take a listen.
Yeah, nightclubs are dying.
Look at this. Empty. Nobody in there. Because men make it happen. We keep the establishments going. We spend our hard-earned money. Men are done.
Is clubbing dead everywhere?
Now, that was a cute white chick, right? A blonde chick. Now, before, if you knew she was going to be at the club, you would go to the club to meet her. Say you would see her online, they're going to be booking her, whatever. But now everyone is so easily accessible, you don't even have to go out to meet her. Unfortunately, prostitution has become a part of American society. Every one of these girls that's beautiful, they're selling their beauty to the highest bidder. So why would you pay $1,000 to buy a section and 2 bottles so that you can gain her attention and invite her out for drinks, when her link is in the bio and for $300 she'll come to your house. That's why men don't, there's no point of going to the club. We go to the club for women who we're hoping to have sex with. At the club, you can typically meet a woman for free sex. But if you think about it, you're going to spend $400 to $500 on drinks, entry, parking. Okay, if her link's in her bio and she wants 300, well then actually you're saving $150 net. So why would you go out to the clubs? It's not adding up. Like I said, a lot of my friends are passport bros. I have a passport. I do live in another country. And when you go down there, you can take the most beautiful woman you've ever met out for a date, to go have dinner, go for drinks. You're going to spend roughly $100 to have an amazing night, because the American dollar goes further there. To do the same thing in Houston or in Scottsdale or in LA or Miami, you're looking at $300 to $500 minimum. It doesn't make sense. And then at the end of the night, you're not even guaranteed, because you can spend all that money on her to take her out and go get drinks, go to food, everything, right? And at the end of the night, you're trying to get her to come back to your house. And she's like, oh, but wait, actually, I got to go to work tomorrow and I don't have a babysitter. But so basically you're like, wait a minute. So I spent all that money on you tonight, and just to come back to my house, you're going to ask me for more money that I send to you directly. So then why did I spend all this money taking you out? And now, again, we're watching videos. Men are learners. We have to build. We're looking for threats. That's just how we're wired. We're listening to what the women are saying, what they like, what they don't like, and we're learning. And what a lot of men are learning is that they're better off leaving women alone until they absolutely just need to have some intimacy. And then they just give someone a small amount of money and then go on with your life, go on with your business, leave her alone. Most dudes I know nowadays, 2025, they have guy roommates again. They don't want a live-in girlfriend. She's a dependent. She's a child. She doesn't want to pay bills. She doesn't want to clean. She doesn't want to cook. So it's cheaper for you to just get a maid and a chef than it is for you to have a live-in girlfriend that you have to pay for her clothing, nails, hair, phone bill. It's just cheaper to hire a maid and a chef. It doesn't make sense. So the same way you would apply that to your home life, you're going to have to apply that to your social life too. It's not, spending a lot of money doesn't even impress women anymore. They take it for granted. You're not special to them. So that's why men are not doing it. And that's why these clubs are becoming empty. Also, it's like the club is really a club. You go there, if you don't know nobody, now you're just a creepy guy standing by himself. Or if you don't have a group of friends, now you're at the table by yourself. Women are just bouncing around, figuring out where to go. And you don't have a name. You have no notoriety. You have no clout. So you're just an unnamed guy who just spent a bunch of money for nothing. It just doesn't make any logical sense. So that's another reason why things are drying up.
Why are clubs all over the UK going from this to this?
Empty.
This hasn't been gradually over the last 20 years. This is the past 3 years. Because women have been giving microphones and they're talking and we're listening and we're just saying we pass and we'd rather fly to another country and meet women that are traditional, that appreciate us, appreciate our money, and we're not getting ripped off. In the UK, when I've been there, it was the same as the US. It was a ripoff. France is a ripoff. Germany was a ripoff. The only place that's not a ripoff, Houston. And the only place that's not a ripoff in Houston is the BYOB. Why would a man go to a place like this? All these women are standing around looking for a man to sue. They're not looking for love. They're looking for somebody who they can accuse of something so that he has to pay her to not report him. They're looking for someone to set up. They're not looking for love. They're looking for a means to an end. They're looking for a form of income for the next 2 years. Hey, send me $400 a month. My lawyer contacts her. I'm a lawyer. What do you think's happening to all these celebrities? I was watching a UFC fight, and I seen all these famous men. I noticed one thing: none of them had their girlfriends, or none of them had a girlfriend or a wife with them. And then you look into their personal life; none of them have girlfriends or wives anymore. It just doesn't make sense. You can literally go out, have a good time, and when it's just time to, have a little getitin.com, call somebody, they're there for an hour, then you kick them away from you. They can't write a book about you. They can't try to scam you and say, oh, he did this. He likes me to play with his toes, or they can't accuse you. So I'm looking at that. I'm thinking, wow, men have really figured out their worst enemy has been these women next to them. The woman that you're in love with because she's so beautiful, you want to marry her, but you don't realize that in about 3 years, she's going to be the one suing you. And you're no longer going to have sex with her, but you're still going to be required to pay for her. It's not worth it. And a lot of men end up meeting women in these clubs that are just looking to set them up in the future. So that's another reason why men are just, we're learning from the mistakes of other men. 167,000 views in a week. This is actually a viral video for me.
Strippers say a market crash is guaranteed because the strip clubs are suddenly empty.
They're suddenly empty because the strippers have been talking on the internet, telling people that the men who come into their clubs, that they only pretend to like them, but they don't really like them and they don't respect them. I remember back when I first, used to started going to strip clubs, we all felt sorry for the strippers. That's what a lot of us would tell ourselves. We're like, man, she has kids. She's a single mom. I know she's struggling. Let me tip her a little bit extra so she can get little John a hamburger tomorrow. But then the women got on the internet and said, I don't even have kids. I was just scamming the men. I don't like them. They're all creepy and disgusting, and they're simps, and they're just insulting their customers on the internet. And you think men are going to want to go back knowing how these women don't even really like us? They just tolerate us. They're not in love with you. They're just pretending to be in love with you. It's all an act. But here you are genuinely going out to work, getting dressed, putting on cologne to show up to a strip club where there's 100 other men there looking at that same naked body. You think you're helping her, but really she's just running game on you. That's why a lot of men have just decided to no longer participate, because people expose that they've been scamming men the entire time. For all of human history, the only reason why men used to die for women and do everything we could to support women is because we felt sorry for women. We felt like they were weak and small and vulnerable, and we wanted to protect them. But we're in the age of equality. Equality means we're the same. You don't need my protection. You don't need my support. You don't need my money. You can get your own money. You are essentially a man to me. If you're in America, American women are men now. So we fly to other countries to meet actual women who need us. They're not getting on the internet talking about how they are disgusted by us and tired of us. No. That's an American thing. Because in America, the women here would rather be in a relationship with the government, who's providing all their food and their shelter, and they don't got to have sex with the government, but they have to have sex with somebody to make those kids so they can get more benefits. So when you replace men with the government, why are we going to feel sorry for you and want to help you? Why would I want to go to a club and meet a woman if she's just another dependent who's using me? If men aren't spending money in the club because we no longer see the value in chasing these beautiful women, well, then what's the club going to do?
Where are the single men at in Atlanta?
Atlanta nightlife right now is not the same.
Stop it.
Especially clubs.
Oh,
one of
no.
the biggest clubs, one of my favorites in Atlanta, it just closed down.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care. Let me tell you.
I mean, it should have been closed. It wasn't serving a purpose. It used to serve a purpose, but now these women. Why would you go to a strip club when these same women have OnlyFans pages and they're doing way more than just stripping on there? You go, they're stripping on Instagram. You can see her pretty much butt ass naked on social media. Why would I pay to go look at you in a strip club? It doesn't make any sense. So it's all dying out. And it's not going to be able to, it's not coming back because of the internet, we know too much about you. We know everything. Everything. And you know everything about us. So it's a stalemate. But for the club scene, if you know somebody there and it's a birthday, well, then it makes sense. You're going there for a special occasion. But as far as, every week, it just doesn't make sense for a lot of people. Now, I work in the nightlife. I do business with the people at different clubs, but I'm watching that it's getting smaller because the women are just so easily accessible. You don't need to go to the club to meet them anymore. You can just send them a DM with a $sign and put something in her Cash App, and she's yours for the night. You don't have to go spend all that money anymore. So why would you? It's all smoke and mirrors anyway. You think all these guys are super rich. They're not. They're not. And the girls aren't going to talk to you if they don't know who you are. So you have to be there. You have to gain notoriety. It's just too much. It doesn't even make any sense. It's not natural anymore. You're not just there. Now at a bar, a regular bar, a dive bar, you go in there, you sit at the bar, you have a drink. If you and a woman kick up a conversation, you guys start talking, then great. But loud music, tons of money, pretending that you're something. I'll be honest, even in Miami, it's dying out. Atlanta is dying out. Houston, because we have BYOBs, it's still going. But the BYOBs have long surpassed the regular clubs. So hopefully other states adopt BYOBs and they can make new money doing liquor sales there. But nowadays, a lot of guys are drinking less, focusing on fitness, eating better, focusing on themselves, and just saving up their money and traveling. If you want to go to Colombia, for example, you can be there for an entire week and it'll still be cheaper and you'll have more fun than you would going to Vegas for just 2 days. And you get to have all the wild, crazy sex and you'll feel like you're in the movie The Hangover. But Vegas can't provide that anymore. You'll go to jail trying to have that kind of fun there for soliciting, for drugs, for something. You're locked up. So it just doesn't make any sense. And that's why these clubs are closing down and they're not coming back. Like and subscribe, share the video. Let me know if you agree or disagree. I'm open to conversations about it. I want to hear what you think. I appreciate you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you again shortly. Cheers.